CFSJs inside the box. The workout's designed for tight times and tight spaces. All of our workouts are designed for a space approximately 8 foot by 10 foot. We should be able to get through all of these in about 25 to 45 minutes, depending on how you pause the videos and how much time you spend at each station. Follow along with us, pay attention. We're going to give you some insight as to how these workouts are actually supposed to be completed. So if you follow along with us, you will get better. All right, so if you have access to a rower or a bike, go ahead and use those. We're looking for about 2 minutes of warm-up, but for the rest of us, we're going to do 10 in-place burpees, just simply stepping back, starting light. Use this as a hip stretch as well. Let's go ahead and get jump at the top, slowly starting to build the heart rate up, just getting the blood flowing so that the muscles accommodate. And you're going to go ahead and give me 6 more on your own. Now that we've taken care of that basic cardio and gotten the blood pumping, let's work on the dynamic moves that are going to prepare us for today's workout. As always, we have 4 movements, 10 overhead Cossack stretches. We're starting off with about the hardest movement that we have in terms of mobility. Take these shallow. Don't let the hips drop. Don't let the chest drop. So again, with the hands overhead, you'll notice Coach Devin forcing the torso to remain upright. He goes pretty deep. If it's a choice between the chest collapsing and the hips going deeper, let's go ahead and keep the hips a little shallow and keep the chest upright. 5 each side. Next, we're going to go wide for a sumo stance hamstring stretch. Take your time, especially if you're doing this early in the morning. Hamstrings don't normally lengthen out on their own. Don't risk a pull. Next, we're going to stay in that sumo stance for 10 sumo squats. If your adductors are tight, this is going to be a little bit tough. If your hip flexors are tight, about the same thing. So take your time, look for progress on each movement. And lastly, we're going to finish those hips off with 10 pigeon pose. Active, kicking the heel back from plank, driving the knee through the arms, dropping the hip and lifting the chest. 5 each side. Our activation for today's workout is a lot of core. We got 2 rounds, 5 inchworms with a walkout. No push out, but you're actually going as far as you possibly can. Really mobile people will have nose touch the ground. Let's look at Coach Devin demonstrate these inchworms. You'll notice that he's walking out as far as possible, maintaining a plank, not letting the hips drop, not letting the chest touch the floor. Moving on, we've got 10 tuck crunches. Passing through that hollow position. And finishing off with 30 side planks with clamshell. You'll notice Coach Devin here in a perfect side plank, maintaining balance. Look how the shoulders don't move while the knees open up and close. If this is a little too easy for you and you happen to have a light band, go ahead and use it. Now you have 2 rounds, 5 inchworms, 10 tuck crunch, 30 side planks. Go ahead and get situated and begin. Today's strength, we have a 2 movement superset. 3 to 5 pause push-ups. We're going to pause on the way down and on the way up. And 6 to 8 single arm, kettlebell, or dumbbell sumo deadlift high pulls. Let's take a look at those push-ups. Now there's a couple of things to keep in mind as we watch Coach Devin demonstrate. For the push-ups, we're gonna pause at 3 positions. We're gonna pause first, quarter of the way down, then half the way down, then 3/4 of the way down. You're gonna go ahead and finish the down and quickly come on back up. So this is a slow descent and an explosion back up to the starting position. 5 will be very taxing. If you have to go from your knees on this, my suggestion is challenge the long lever. Fewer of these is going to make more sense and have a greater impact than doing more of them at a modified position. Next, we're gonna look at those single arm kettlebell or dumbbell sumo deadlift high pulls. Very similar to what we would do as a snatch pull with a barbell. Make sure that you're starting with the stance wide. Otherwise, we don't have the benefits of that sumo deadlift. Once the bell gets to about the position of the knees, snap those hips, shrug that shoulder, drive that elbow high. Each of these rounds is going to be 2.5 minutes. This is encouraging us to take this a little slower. There's no 3, 2, 1. There is no prize for finishing first on this. Control the movement, get good at it, let it apply to other things. 3, 2, 1. Now that we have our work situated, we've got our first round of 2.5 minutes for 3 to 5 pause push-ups, 6 to 8 single arm, dumbbell or kettlebell, sumo deadlift high pulls, beginning now. And now we're ready to talk about that WOD. Uplink is a 15-minute AMRAP of 3 movements. Starting off with 20 lateral burpees. We're looking for any object to get over, and remember with the laterals, we don't have to maintain full extension at the top. Moving on to 20 V-ups. Now if V-ups are a little too challenging, we can go ahead and change these into sit-ups. And last, 20 single arm Russian kettlebell swings, 10 each arm. We're looking for a slightly heavier implement if you have it. This can also be done with the dumbbell. Now, let's take a look at Devin demonstrate those movements. The lateral burpees are exactly what you would expect. There's nothing new here. Let's go ahead and find any object that allows you just a little bit of clearance to get over, and a reminder that you do not have to reach full extension as you're jumping over the implement. Now with the 20 V-ups, you want to go through that hollow position, engaging the abs before folding. The only thing that should be on the ground when your hands touch your feet is your butt. If this is a little too hard, we can go back to those tuck crunches from the activation or sit-ups. And last, with the single arm Russian swings, either kettlebell or dumbbell, maintaining a hinge, popping the hips, let the hips do more of the work. Now, what's the intention of a workout like today? The 20 burpees are going to take the majority of the time per round. So then right afterward, you're trying to pick up some momentum in the V-ups and then the kettlebell swings. This is definitely going to be a burner, so set yourself out. You're looking for probably in the neighborhood of somewhere between 5 and 6, possibly 4, depending on how those burpees hit you. Let's go ahead, get our playlist ready, make sure that we have our equipment where we need it, and grab a drink of water. Now that we're situated, let's set a timer for 15 minutes, starting with burpees in 3, 2, 1, go.